finally found my microphones. Oh. Okay, so let me just illustrate for a moment. This is the little box that I keep losing. I lose this. I should get an air tag for it and just like put it on top, but I'm afraid it would mess with whatever components are in here. So I have 2 lav mics, and I use a lav mic because that way I can move about my studio. But I lose that box. And turns out it was sitting on my desk downstairs because I was doing some recording down there, and Lord have mercy, it was like behind my monitor. It like had fallen off of where I had it sitting on a stack of papers, and it just kind of slid off into its own little realm. So that, welcome to my morning. So when you have days like that, you can't find your glasses because they're on top of your head. You can't find your car keys because they're already in your bag. And you've looked and looked and looked in the main pocket, but they're in the side pocket because you thought you'd be fancy. You're not alone. And, you know, this video was, these series of videos for this week was wrapping up old projects that I had, and one of the things that I wanted to address, and it's something that I've come to question in my own head, and maybe it's just my insecurities and whatnot and what have you, but sometimes I feel like I'm doing, excuse the language, but same shit, different pile. It's kind of where I'm at with it. I know I can do just about anything I put my mind to, and because that's what my dad instilled in me is you can do this, you know? So I wanted to revisit some old projects this week, and we'll get to the one project that we've been working on, but I found these journals as I was cleaning and going through things, and I want to show you where I was when I first started, and I was adapting what I already knew into something that I had really no idea what I was doing. I mean, I did scrapbooks and stuff like that, but this is a whole different realm. Junk journaling, treasure books, whatever you want to call them, you know, treasure journals, glue books, whatever they are, whatever you want to call them, at their core are mixed media, because you're taking all different kinds of things and putting it all together in one book, whether it's just glue and paper and some paint, and maybe some fabric embellishments, or, you know, some glitter. You know, you're using all these different things in one art piece. So I just wanted to show you. Now, some of these were supposed to be given away, but I found these in a box, in boxes, ready to go, that were supposed to be shipped out but never were, and there's a long story behind that, and I'm not going to point fingers, but it is what it is. And this one I actually really like, and this one I'm just going to sell as is, but some of these I'm going to probably rework. So I did my what are they called, signatures, words are hard. I did my signatures really like quite light, especially on this one, but that's because I wanted to come back in with pockets and do that, and so we might do that on a live stream, is just make some pockets and put them in here. It has this really, this is also where I found out that I didn't like, what's it called? It's decoupage medium, Mod Podge, because I put Mod Podge on here and I don't like the feel of it. It feels like I'm rubbing my hand against a plastic plate. I don't like that, and it's really shiny. So I might go over this with some matte medium just to kind of tone it down. But my tags were really cool. I mean, check out this tag. It's got a grommet on it, you know, and it's got some glittery stuff on it. And this is paper that paper that I have from another project. What is this? Is this another pocket? There's a pocket behind there. But I was playing around with like the line pockets, these ones here. Let me show you. So I was experimenting, I was exploring, I was learning. And you know, here, we'll just use this. So this is a pocket here. And then this little, and I love these, and these paper clips, I'll show you it really quick. So there's a pocket there, and then there's a tuck spot there. Now, you can't tell me these aren't cool. They're so cute. And I'm gonna make some more of these. I forgot that I have them, but it has a little heart on the one side, and then like a little washer on the other. And they're stinking cute, man. So I might take these off though, because I don't really like these. So let's take these off, because I don't know what the purpose of this is. So I'm going to take this off. We're going to go ahead and just kind of snip it. And we'll use these in another journal when there's more of a purpose. But yeah, these are my first coffee dyed papers, eco dyed papers, you know. So it's kind of like walking down memory lane. So, you know, take your old journals, look at them again with, you know, with the experience that you've accumulated, even over 6 months, even over last month. Oh, this one's a little gold one. Look at this. This is so cute. So cute. So very cute. I love it. I need to make more of those. See, now I remember those now. I got inspired from Eva at Bohemian Crafting. See, I did it upside down. It says Paris, but it's okay, you know. And that was a stencil that I ended up cutting out, excuse me, and Mod Podging it on there, and because I didn't like the flower underneath it. And then this is some lace that I colored and some fabric. And yeah, so that one we're going to stuff full and put it on for sale. Now this one, let's see where we're at here. I put a grommet in the organza and put a piece of lace on it. Stupid cute. Love that. Now this is an envelope journal. So there's all kinds of colored papers inside of it. My 73, that's how I sign my journals. And I don't know, is this supposed to come out? I don't remember. No, I think that was put there because the paint didn't go all the way back. That's me hiding my mistake. Yeah, see, did the same thing here. Okay, so this is cute. We can sell this. But it's super simple. And it's not, I mean, let me look at this little thing here, this little charm guy here. See, and I did these. See, and I didn't think about, oh, hey, I want this at the top. You know, I want this to be a page marker. You know, I just did it as a decoration. So I'm going to leave that up top. I like that. It doesn't do anything really. It's not function. It's just pretty. And, you know, there we go. Let's go, and this is another one of the, see, I did a lot of them. I have a whole stack of them here. And just, you know, me just playing around. I mean, just, this is so simple and basic, and it has a function. So we'll put this in the pile of additions to a journal. Whoa, that's gonna fall. Okay, okay. Let's see what else we got in here. This is my first macaroni and cheese box journal. It's crunchy. It's a little crunchy. But that was a page that I did on the jelly printer, the jelly plate. There we go. Words. I made a little envelope out of some papers too. So, and just, yeah, just a little notebook. I might actually keep this one for me, because I need a little notebook for my bag. That's a necklace. That needs to get fixed. So this is me. This is a practice piece for a different kind of tuck envelope. You know, like not necessarily an envelope, but you know, a practice piece. I can put this in something. Now this is truly practice piece, and I don't think I'll ever sell this. This is a little journal, a little like tea journal. So you put little packets of tea in here, and it's just glued in. It's not anything super fancy. You can see from the top there that it's a tab type. So this is my prototype that I did, and I kept it because I figured I'd use it at some point. And then this guy is an accordion folder. Again, another prototype, me playing around with ideas and thoughts. So I was going to put a grommet or a eyelet in here, and then put little tea bags in there, and then, or maybe do this to here and then tie it off and use it as do like a bunch of little teas in here, and then maybe a gift card in the back pocket. I don't know, we'll see, you know, but this one will go in that pile. And then this one was a flat. This is probably really cool, and we're gonna revisit these because these turned out really cute, and it's just 2 holes and some string binding it together. So, and I made this out of cereal box, and it's just, yeah, no glue, just string and some paper and washi tape. Yeah. And this is another prototype because I was trying to see if regular paper would work, which it does work. It's just not real sturdy. So we can put put a piece of parchment underneath there, and then we can put some words. Words are hard. Matte medium, or something in there to give it a little bit more strength. So those are things that we can use. And this thing, I don't even know what this is the finished product. I'm trying to figure out what's in here. Well, those are tabs. I need to keep that out. This is the finished product of this prototype. And I did this on a live stream probably like a 1.5 years ago. And so it's got like love letters between these two. And this is a map. And it got kind of beat up as it was sitting in the thing. And I used cherry tart. I used the recipe book on the inside. Used some faux boo-boo tape in there to decorate the front. But we've got all these different teas in here. And I wanted to do another one. So I might just put this in my bag too. That way I have my tea with me when we go to Dallas next month. There we go. Or maybe I'll find someone who likes tea and I'll just give it to them. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of beat up because it's been in that box, but it's supposed to be kind of beat up. Excuse me. So here's me playing around with different kinds of closures. And this is supposed to be an art page, and you can see my signatures. Look how loose they are. Look how loose they are. And so we're going to rebind this, and I'm going to use the same beads and stuff, but we're going to redo this. And we'll probably add a couple more pages in here too. But look, see, we all at one time or another had loose signatures. But I love the cover, and I think if we turn this into a combination notebook slash junk journal slash art journal, you know, kind of do like the whole candy collection, I think we'll be good. And this was all made on the jelly plate. And I think I might come in with some fingernail polish or something and take that green down a little bit. But yeah, we can rework that. Now this one, let's see, I'm gonna make a rework pile. and then a pile. Yeah, that's a rework. This one will sell outright. Yeah, we'll just have that pile. That's done, completed, and good enough for government work, right? So here's another one. I found these little dolphin, kind of, mermaid tails, and I thought I'd be kind of cute, like she's hiding behind a bubble thing. I don't know. This was a tag notebook. It is a tag notebook. But this was me experimenting with printing on, what's that stuff called? Vellum. And that's how I got that kind of matte finish, and it's pretty cool. And this was a new stencil that I was playing around with, and more jelly plate stuff. I was just learning the jelly plate. This is from way back, like 2021. And this is just notebook paper. But yeah, my signature, it's done. I think I'm just going to put that in the done pile. And this is wallpaper and some collage on there. And me playing around. Oh, see, little folder in here. And my first batch of copy dyed paper. I remember doing that. And yeah, it's done. I'm just going to sell this for like $2 or $3 maybe, or put it in another journal. I'll probably put it in another journal. This was a greeting card that I made. And those are actual metal gears. And this one, I'm going to have to reach out to her because I think she's still around. A lot of the people that were around on the channel back in my acrylic pouring days are no longer around because I don't do acrylic pouring anymore. Funny thing is probably the end of this year, beginning of next year, I'll start doing it again because I really miss it. It was a great way for me to get up on my feet and do stuff. So this is a hidden paper clip. This is my, one of my first attempts at it. And I like the way I did it because I used a piece of paper for this inner thing and then had it hang underneath. So let me kind of show you what I mean. So I would take a piece of paper and fold it in half, and then I would put my paper clip on there, and then I would build up and over around it, and then I would just rip the paper away. And I actually really like that because it gives you something, and it's solid. So I think I might do those. I think I'll do we'll do a bunch of those on like a Monday night live. Not loving the tag, but we can always zhuzh that up a little bit more. I love these paper clips. I was just looking on Amazon for them again, and they are still available. If you're interested in the link, let me know, and I will send it off to you. But there's another little pocket. Yeah, I think we're going to leave this one just the way it is. We might shorten this up a bit. Good Lord. Collect our Social Security before we get that thing closed. Here's another one. Now this was me playing around with creating faux papers. So this is a faux natural paper using wallpaper as my base, as my substrate, and then again not liking the shininess of and the feel of Mod Podge. If you don't mind it, go for it. I personally don't like it. So here's me putting that in there. More of that. And I love doing little stamps off the sides. I think it just adds some visual interest to the pages using that same stamp. And the shimmer of the wallpaper is fun too. And the kind of denim looking. Yeah. So I think it says, a life without dreams would be just a life. I'm not a big sentiments person. And then it says imagine. So, yeah. So we'll put these little, I think we'll put these little journals in other journals. I'm actually going to move this up here because keep bumping it. So take your old journals that you think aren't that good and look at them again. And, you know, realize, hey, okay, I was just learning, but hey, that's a really cool idea. And hey, where did I come up with that? Or, oh, I remember making these. And those thoughts and those things become realities. And it's like, okay, I do this different now, and this is the reason why. And okay, well, I can still take this old journal or this old notebook or this old thing that I did, like one of my first pieces, and I can add it to a journal that I've made now. And that way they get a part of me from my past and my present. And maybe they'll be, you know, a purchaser in the future, you know? So it all comes around. Yep. I don't like this as the closure though, so I might just leave this off. Now here's another one of those envelope ones. And again, I did a whole bunch of these. So they're kind of crinkly because they're painted. And, you know, so cool. And here's me trying to add book pages. You know, my signatures were all so skinny. I think I was projecting. So that flips over, then this flips up, and this has a pocket here. I need to put something here or here, a pocket or something. I don't know. So this one needs a little bit of love still. Here's the extra pieces. So, because that was one thing I did do, is I did put extra pieces in the pockets. So if I wanted to add more to it, I could, or I was going to sell them that way. I don't remember. But this ribbon is just kind of on here, and there we go. We got a handful more. Oop. There we go. This is kind of stretchy stuff. Okay, so tassels. If you want me to do a video on how I make my tassels, I did a live stream and I couldn't tell you which one it was. If you want to visit the live stream, there is a whole folder of over 800 live streams. I didn't take them off my channel completely. They're just unlisted. Just because I didn't want them to go away, but it's not what I do anymore, so I didn't want them to come up in search. So I took them down, but I love making these tassels. I think they're so much fun. I have t-shirt material in here, so jersey material, you know, regular satin ribbon. I've got some glittery ribbon, more t-shirt material. This is just, you know, tied off on the ribbon, and just different beads and stuff. And I think they're just so much fun. I used a cog as my jump ring. How fun! How fun! Again, jelly plate. And just some papers in there. And I say just, but yeah, I need to leave this with this. I might actually, hang on, let's see if this is long enough. Did I leave it? I did leave it long enough. Look at me go. I'm getting the hang of this stuff, yo. So we're going to do it this way. So that hangs up here with the tassel. Okay, so there we go. And I don't know what this guy is all about, but he's sticky. So, oh, this is that, yeah, see, this, I don't like this. I'm going to have to take off. This was just, I got this at a thrift store, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty, it's gold, it's blue, it's pretty. And then I got it home, and it's like, it's elastic. So I'm going to take this off and use this actually for something a little more appropriate. And that means we'll have to rebind this one. And if we're going to rebind it, we might as well add some more pages to it, right? Maybe make up some blue pages and zhuzh it up a bit. Oh, we did do this right. And but how cute is that little butterfly? And then the little Asian bead with the flowers. Yep, yep, yep. So we'll redo this one. We're just going to rebind it, add some pages, and take this off and use that to someplace more appropriate. And then this one, I love the black. I love black because it makes colors pop. And this one's not done, I can tell, because this got scrap papers in here. So again, we're probably going to rebind this. I don't know, we'll see. I left the string long though, so I can make a page marker if I wanted to. Again, we flip this out. And I didn't seal any of these, so that's why they're sticky. You can use, I just use like a matte medium and seal it so they're not sticky. And then there's pocket. Look at that though. Isn't that so cool? I just love that. Weird little things. Weird little things. See, now you can put the pocket here and have this flip down because there is a gusset here. So we're going to rework this guy. Okay, tying this off. So now that we know, I'm going to rework this stack. Oh, there's one of my, let's put that in one of those journals. So we're going to, I'm going to put it in one of these envelopes. There we go. And then what I do is I take my Sharpie. Now, if you want to remove Sharpie from plastic or other hard surface, first off, you can use a piece of tape. These bags I'm not really worried about, but we're just going to rework on it. And then, plus, because I probably end up putting more stuff in here at another time. But you take a dry erase marker and you just rub over it, take a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a rag and wipe it down, and it's gone. It's like magic. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to put, I got the box still. We're going to put these in the box. And I don't want to throw this away because this is my prototype. And I want to keep this one because it's my prototype. So maybe I'll just put these in here and I'll make a prototype bin that I can put all my prototypes in. Because it would need to be a pretty big bin. Okay, so here's me. I don't know how more transparent I can be. If I was transparent, you wouldn't, any more transparent, you wouldn't see me. So let me go grab what we've been working on this week, which is over on the floor. Give me a moment. Okay, so get my chair so I can sit down, and it's a crunchy chair. It makes a lot of noise. So this didn't stand up perfectly straight, so hopefully this still works. And just gonna peel this off very, very gently. And now, if it's still sticky, one of the things you can do, and threads, is take, I'm gonna put that over there so I know where it's at. Phenomenon. Da, 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 da. Sorry. I have plenty of caffeine in my caffeine system. This is paraffin wax. Just rub some paraffin wax in there like that. And that's lifting a little bit, and I'm not going to worry about it because it's just a little bit. So just a little bit, a little dab will do ya. I don't know where that comes from. I think it's Dippity Doo commercial from when I was a kid. It's one of those things that just kind of stuck in my head. Ah, here it is. Let's take the glue off of this. This is kind of satisfying, peeling the glue off. I was not one of those kids that would put glue on their hand just to peel it off. I don't remember his, I want to say his name was Joe. There's a kid in my class who did that, and I'm like, gross. Looks like you're peeling your skin off. Gross. But this silicone spatula, and I'm just going to use that to kind of work it in and rub up any extra that comes up. Just going to work it in. And you don't have to worry about, with the silicone, you don't have to worry about friction because these are good to like 400 degrees. And you know what? Friction's not going to build up that much heat unless, you know, you're working with wood and you're really pushing hard. And have you ever tried to start a fire with a twig and a with a twig and a piece of wood? Yeah, takes a lot of time, a lot of patience. Neither of which I really wanted to give. All right, and then I'm going to take a rag and we're going to wipe the excess off. And now it's not sticky. There we go. And now we can get this section done. Look at how nice that is. We're going to do this section and we're going to do up to here. And then it's not laying quite flat. And then we're going to let it dry again. So it's a game of hurry up and wait for glue to dry. All right. Let's see if this will work for us today. Oh, it's working for us today. Good deal. All right, so I'm not going to do the spine just yet because we're going to have extra because I always overglue. My philosophy is go big or go and stay home. Everybody says, oh, go big or go home. I'm like, I'm already home and I want to go big so I can stay home because I don't want to have to leave my house. I think my problem is people have gotten so, like, I don't know, like, judgmental and, like, I don't know how else to explain it. They just, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say self-righteous, but that's kind of what it is. At least it feels like to me, like they think they're better than everybody else. And not everybody is this way. Not everybody. But just the people that have that attitude outweigh, like, they outshine the people that are awesome and are people that I would want to have as my friends, you know? So when I find someone, I like hang on to them for dear life. Because I was just explaining to my friend Tony, is I have ADHD, so I am following that whole neurodivergent thing. And there was a video that I watched that was talking about, you know, how as an ADHD person, sometimes we have a hard time articulating things. And I don't necessarily want to talk about myself. It's just, I want to let you know that, hey, I understand. So I relate a story about me, about something similar that happened to me. So I understand what you're going through. Instead of just saying that, like, you know, a big dummy, I go through and I talk about something that one of my experiences is because I don't want you to feel alone. I want you to, I want you to know that I understand and how can you know that if I don't articulate that in a story that, I don't know. I've been working on it. And, you know, I've been in a lot of really good relationships and a lot of really bad ones, and I'm trying to let the good relationships rule my thoughts. I don't know about the rest of y'all out there, but I think we all can use some really good friends. All right, I'm going to scrooge this top piece off right there. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to try and get that off of there. Come on. There we go. All right, this can go. Crikeys, I put my other, here. Let's put this down here. There we go. It was dry when I moved it last night. Okay, so this is going to be interesting with the little flapperdoos. So we're going to try and lay this down with the little flapperdoos down. There we go. And then I'm going to have to flip them up to get this. There we go. I think we're good. Now, we're going to have to kind of fold these back. I got my pins right here, so let's pin this. And I'm going to let this sit for a moment before I try and tuck it in. So I'm going to give it some more good presses here. I'm going to grab my brayer and just work this across. And I'm going to let it sit for just a minute. Okay, I'm going to press this down. There we go. All right, give me a moment. I'm going to get a sip of coffee. All right, now we're going to take our parchment and our extra board here. I want to put the parchment in and put the piece that was in the glue last time. I want to make sure that there's nothing sticky. There we go. Now we're going to fold this over this. I apologize for the crunchy, but that cannot be helped. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold this over like this, maybe. There we go. And I'm trying to remember what I did with my binder clips. I think they're on the other table. So we're going to take these clips. I got little clips. Dollar Tree to the rescue. All right. So that gives us a little bit more to press down with. And then let me get another. I don't know what is the deal, but I have this thing in the back of my throat and I can't get rid of it. Okay. Now, all right, shove that down in there. And we're going to make sure that this is kind of laying flat. And there's a little bit of a wrinkle there. That's okay. So we're going to take this and we're just going to push that up. There we go. There we go. Now, I wonder if we can fold this behind. I don't know if I want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. Could we take off the clips and then flip this over? I think so. Yeah, let's take off the clips. Like so. I want to see if this works a little better as far as adhering. There we go. Okay, we're getting a little bit of glue there, so that means it's coming through, which is great, but not so great. So I'm just gonna burnish that a little bit. All right, now we let this sit on the floor and dry. I'm hoping it'll dry faster because it took like literally 5-6 hours yesterday for that to dry. And that's a little bit much because I wanted to have that part done so we could move on to the next bit. And then we have this guy. Let me grab the other part. And this is going to require a little bit of glue. Okay, give me a moment. Okay. Now, we take this, put it over there for a moment. Okay, we're going to move these out of the way. They hang off of my little shelving unit over here. There we go. There we go. Take that off. There we go. Now we have our spacers in there too yet, but that's okay. So we're going to fold this back. And then fold this back. And then we're going to put this in our book. And we're going to have to leave this on the table so this, because once we get it glued down, we're not going to be able to move it. So first thing, let's grab some clamps. And I don't think these are going to be long enough, but we'll give it a whirl. Okay. So we try and get this as flat as possible, but sometimes it doesn't work as it's supposed to. Let's take these spacers out. Because we don't need them anymore. And now we can manipulate it a little bit so it's a little bit more the way we need it. So this is our back cover, this is our front cover, and then this is going to go down right there. And then hopefully I'm just thinking out loud here. What is something firm, like the popsicle sticks? You know what we could do? Hang on. I have a thunk it. I have an idea. So we're gonna grab those. I'm gonna cut them off as straight as I can. There we go. And then I'll cut one in half as straight as I can. Okay. Oh, maybe a little less than half. Yeah, a little less than half. There we go. And then we'll take the other half and put it here. And we're going to make ourselves let's use just a little piece of this for now to get it all together. This is boxing tape. It's made specifically for cardboard boxes, like shipping tape. There we go. And that'll help. Yep. We're going to take a shipping tape and put it to about there. There we go. Let go, please. Thank you. So I'm going to put that there and then fold it over and fold it over again. There we go. Now it should be pretty solid. Next one we do for the other side, I'm going to move it back a little bit more, so it should be pretty good though. And that should help hold it down where we want it. Okay, so we're going to take and do the same thing with this. Cut the end off a little bit. There we go. And then we're just going to use this as a guide to where we need to cut it off. So right about there. So that way we can utilize the little bits that we cut off. And then that's not exactly straight. Oh, it's straighter than I thought it was. Okay. I'm going to cut, let go please. Cut a little piece off of this. There we go. And this is just so it holds it in place while we tape the big piece on. There we go. Again, I'll take and so I'm kind of gonna, first off I need to get that to stop spinning, thank you. And we're gonna put it right about there. Cut it. Okay, you, listen. Now if you don't have this kind of shipping tape, you can use box tape, you know, like the regular cellophane box tape. I find it doesn't stick as well to wood as this stuff does, but it'll work. And then you can make your own like bases for your clamp, right? There you go. Now we have a piece that goes from top to bottom, and we can clamp it down, and that should help keep it down. And then we're going to take a piece of parchment, and we're going to get all this prepped so we don't have to try and do it while we're fumbling with glue. There we go. Move this stuff over here. And we've got 2 clamps for each stick. Now, take a deep breath. Let's take a sip of coffee, and then we're going to attack this. Okay. That's how I feel right now. So I'm just going to take some glue, and we're just going to load it up. And it's probably going to squish out, and that's okay. But, okay, now I've stopped squeezing, and I'm just using the tip to move it around and get in all those nooks and crannies like an English muffin. And now I'm hungry. Okay, because we don't know how this is going to lay down. So, there we go. And this is the front. Whoop, that's okay. I'll put that right there, like so. Grab our rag, clean up that little mess. That's all right. And this is why we put parchment down. Okay, so we're going to take our ruler wherever he went. Oh, I put him away. Look at me being all organized and stuff. There we go. Take our ruler, and in those spaces that we had between the two, okay, and now we're going to clean up some glue mess here. So maybe we do need to have our spacers in here to help us push this down like that. And then our other spacer is over here. There we go. We'll put that in there. And we're going to wiggle it around a little bit because we can. I'm going to make sure we get it in there straight-ish. And I am going to take this little clip and hopefully, nope, it's not going to reach. Take a piece of parchment, and that'll help. There we go. All right. So, we'll make that as straight as we can. How did I get glue way over there? All right. So, we clean up this extra glue that we have. And I'm going to have to lift this up ever so gently. Just right here. to, you know what, we're going to solve that issue by putting a piece of parchment underneath. There we go. We'll probably have to do the same at the top. Oh, we became crooked again. It's all right. Grab another piece of parchment. We're going to put that in between our folders and the spine. And then I'm going to slide it back. There we go. Now it's time to clamp it down. The part we've all been waiting for. Okay, I'm going to slide this. You're not going to be able to see this part because I'm going to slide it off my table so I can put this down. Can you see? Yeah, you can see the top. So I'm trying to line the top of the stick that we cut. And then I'm going to take the extra parchment and I'm going to wrap it around. And I'm going to put my clamp on. But I need to be able to do that without lifting up the book. And the best way to do that is to, you guessed it, have it at the edge of my table. All right. I'll wipe off this extra glue. There we go. And now that we're mostly straight, I'm going to take whoopa. That didn't help. Okay, so now hopefully it'll stay so we can do this guy. This is our other stick. Actually, we're going to do that one second. We're going to go and whoop. That was not as planned. Okay, so we're going to have to leave that the way it is, and we're going to have to kind of hold this where we want it, lift this up, and clamp it down so it stays where we want it. There we go. Okay. There we go. And I couldn't find it. It was camouflaged. So, oop. Let's wipe off this extra glue that's not where it's supposed to be. There we go. Slide that down. Let's slide it off the table again. I need an extra pair of hands. My hands. Okay. Either that or longer arms. And I already have really long arms, so maybe not. Okay. Now, let's take a peek. There we go. Hopefully this still stays straight. If it doesn't, you know what? Handmade. Because I don't know about you, but I like handmade stuff. Now we need something to go underneath here that is long enough to support this. I need to get that glue off of me. Let me grab this guy, and I think he'll fit, yep, perfectly. Okay, so let's get a bigger longer clip here. I got a binder clip, that'll work great. So we're gonna push these together, and then we're gonna put this. This is my bead tray that I use for beads, but also like dusting powders and stuff. And then that should hold it. And I probably want to do it this way, the longer way. There we go. If I had a weight, I wish I had weights. I don't have my weights anymore. I had them. I don't know what happened to them. I think they're in storage, actually. There we go. Now, don't touch. Don't touch it, Tish. It's staying. Let's go with it. Now I need to find my pin or another pin. We'll just put another pin in there. It has a cap, but I lost it, so I need to get another bottle just so I can get the cap. Okay, so we went through some old journals of mine just to let you know that I started somewhere too. I haven't been doing this, you know, I've been doing it a few years now, and I think I've chalked up a few things to experience. This is a new thing for me, not the binding, but doing something like this. This is a new design for me, and having something new is, and trying something new is scary, but also exhilarating and really worth your time, because you don't grow if you don't experiment, and they're not mistakes, they're learning experiences. So go out there and have some learning experiences, and always remember, be kind to one another. Peace, love, and happiness.